Here's the snapback. Here's the kick. He's got the leg into it. If it is good, and it is! Austin scores! A 49-yard field goal, and Indiana leads 27-24.
Oh, it's an end around one to throw. Page looking at the quarterback, and it's a touchdown! Page times Leno!
Penix rolling out of the pocket to a strong hand. Delivers deep down the field. Caught, touchdown! Fry Fogel again.
Welcome to the OEO Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bragg. You can follow me on Twitter. It's at Bragley, Bragggley. I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Brandon. You can follow him on Twitter. It's at Brandon Dubich. Brandon spelled traditionally Dubich, D-U-B-I-C-H. What's up, Brando?
You know I'm a big dog guy, right? Always own dogs, love dogs. You know the worst dog is the big red variety, and I can't wait to talk some Sean Clifford today.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew that was coming. It was first thing out of your mouth. All right, and unfortunately, as always, not as always, but just unfortunately in general, with us again is producer Seth. If you haven't already done it, you can block him on Twitter. It's at Setah5, Setah5. What's up, Sethers?
How many more years do we have to talk about Clifford? This guy's been around forever, right?
Yeah, it's his.
I got a question on that on Brando's Randos. I think he has a COVID year. I think this isn't even his last year.
This isn't his last year. Because it's
his fifth year, but he used one red shirt. So this is only his fourth year, so he should have an extra COVID year.
Great. Great.
One more year. One more year. That's
Well,
what I should have started it off with.
Right. And if you haven't already figured out what we're talking about the week 10 matchup, which comes after week 9 bye week. I wasn't going to allow Brandon to predict a loss in that week, so we're just going to skip that preview. Get right to week 10 against Penn State. It is in Bloomington, time to be announced. It's on November 8th. So I don't know, one of those, maybe a nice crisp fall afternoon in Memorial Stadium. Last matchup, it was a weird one, wasn't it, Brandon? 24-0 Penn State against Michael Penix, who was his last game as a Hoosier, I believe.
One of my worst viewing experiences of an IU game ever. I was at a wedding, hashtag ban fall weddings.
Yeah.
But the couple went to school at Penn State. Not only did they go to school at Penn State, but they were both in the band at Penn State. And just like any other Big Ten school, when you're in the band, you like bleed for your football team. They had the game on the big screen, like above the dance floor. Like, so the game was on the whole time, and they were just chanting every turnover, every fourth down, every sack, every big play. And, you know, it was just brutal. And everyone knew I went to IU because, you know, the couple is actually tailgated with Michael and I a few times, I think twice. So again, they're nice people. So it wasn't really them. It was more their friends and the alcohol. But this was genuinely a horrible game to watch.
Yeah, bad. I mean, mistakes by the players, mistakes by the coaches, mistakes all around. But the weird thing was it was just 24-0. Like, it probably should have been a lot worse had the defense not played. I mean, not well, but half decent, I guess. I mean, they did give up 400 yards, 200 through the air, 200 on the ground. But, you know, we've seen it get a lot worse really fast, and especially in night game in Happy Valley with Stripe out that had nightmare written all over it. But yeah, you talked about it. They were 1 for 2 on fourth downs, 3 for 14 on third downs, which is just abysmal. While holding Penn State to 6 of 16, which is good. I mean, 6 total punts for Penn State, and just the offense was just not there for IU. if I've got this right, Seth and I kind of talked about it before you hopped on, but I'm pretty sure Raheem Lane made an interception late in the first quarter. I think he got it all the way back inside the 10, maybe 7-0 Penn State at that time. And then somehow inside the 10, IU manages to go 4-and-out. And
it was a great decision to go for it on fourth down. I think they were on like the 3 or 4 yard line. I mean, it was a really, really smart decision. You need 7 points on the road in that kind of atmosphere. It was the right decision.
Oh, yeah. Right decision, just bad execution, as we talked about. I mean, just not great. So, yeah, but it's enough talking about last year, and we'll skip through the history real quick. IU 2, Penn State 23.
2 wins were memorable as shit.
Yeah, great wins. One of them your friends were at.
Yeah.
So that was a fun time to rub it in their face. And then, they got us 21 out of the last 22. So, or not really, that's not how that works, but you know what I mean. Either way, head coach James Franklin's still sticking around there, 8th year. He's 67-33, which is a damn good record as a head coach in the Big Ten. Let's talk about their schedule, Brandon, coming up. I think they've probably got the easiest schedule in all of the Big Ten, at least all of the Big Ten East. Win totals 8.5. And based off of what I'm seeing in their first 8 games, I think they've got 6 in the bag pretty easy. They start at Purdue. And if you talk to anybody that's around Purdue football, one of these people on the podcast is, for some reason, Brandon, they think that they're chalking this puppy up for a W already. Night game, Penn State, whatever, maybe ESPN, whatever it is. Penn State's 3.5-point favorites to start it off. What do you think about that one? Then we'll get into the rest of their schedule.
Man, it's really strength against strength, right? Purdue's going to be the better offensive team, but Penn State's going to be the far superior defensive team. I think it's going to come down to if Penn State, if a running back out of that very, at least on paper, talented backfield can actually do anything, and if they can control the clock and keep the ball out of Purdue's hands, then I think Penn State should cover and win. But they didn't run the ball real well last year, and the offensive line was pretty dang bad. So if you get the Penn State from last year, I definitely think Purdue can pull off the upset at home. I seem to think, water finds its level, and they have so many 4- and 5-star talent back there in the backfield that I would take Penn State to win that game, just because I tend to think defense is a little bit better than offense to start the season. If this was later in the year and Purdue's offense had time to get clicking, like I think they have the potential to do so, maybe I'd take Purdue. But no, I think Penn State gets it done in opening weekend. But it should be a good game. I mean, it should be, one of those, one score games.
Penn State, no brainer.
Okay, there he is. All right.
You're so guarded. I love it.
Can you tell me about the false sense of confidence that you guys have basically since 2018? Is it when was Rondale Moore? When was the Rondale Moore game? 2018, right? I think. Like, whenever you guys have some big name, big shot team come into Ross-Ade, you're like, oh man, don't forget Rondale Moore game. It's just like, you catch one every now and then.
First of all, it's a Fox game. It's a night game. So we'll have like the seizure-inducing light show or whatever that thing is.
Lights.
No, there's no chance. So we have a quarterback, which is like the first time we've been able to say that in like a decade.
And then of course now you don't have any receivers.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. It's a terrible matchup for us. We're outmatched athletically across the board.
We'll move on from this game in a second. How much white, when they zoom out on that field, how much white is in there? Is it just limited to the visitor section, or are we looking at Nebraska 2015?
Stop bringing that up. No, it'll be like 25-30%. It'll be a fair share, but not a.
So visitor section and a sprinkle, you think?
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
you don't get. Do you get a lot of opposing fans coming down from Chicago?
No.
No, because there's a decent Penn State contingent in Chicago. I mean, that's where my friends live now. That went to Penn State. So I would have definitely thought there was maybe some travel there.
We traditionally don't have many road fans. I think like Nebraska was an outlier because it was the first time they've ever had a chance to come to Indiana, and apparently Indiana's fun compared to Nebraska, so they sent busloads.
Yeah, Nebraska, that one was. If anybody gets a chance, I don't know. I don't remember what year it was. What year did they join? 2015 or 16?
It was in the dark ages of Hazel.
Yeah.
So I've kind of blacked out that entire history.
Wants to Google that. It's actually a pretty funny like pan out of the amount of red that was in Ross 8 is insane. So, but screw Nebraska. So either way, let's move on. So yeah, so they've got at Purdue where they're starting 3.5-point favorites. They've got Ohio at home, and then they're at Auburn, and then Central Michigan at home, Northwestern at home, bye week, at Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State. I got them going 6-2 in those 8.
I have them at 5-3, and I have them getting absolutely blown out by Ohio State at home.
Okay.
That's very, very hard to then go travel on the road. Even if it's a team like Indiana, because we all think Indiana is going to be improved this year. But this is a team that went 7-6 last year, and they lost studs on defense. They lost Jahan Dotson. They always recruit well, but it's not like they have a stable of studs coming back. And they've got a quarterback with a completion percentage the same as Dickie Legault. So, again, I don't think this is a very good team. Like I said, I have them as 5-3, losing to at Auburn, home against Michigan, home against Ohio State. I think they beat who they should beat, and I think they lose to who they should lose to on their schedule. And it's kind of a swing game for them, and I think it's pretty tough. Getting blown out at home and your season basically over for Penn State fans who have, conference championship hopes every year. Now, no college team mails it in, but I think this game's tricky for Penn State. I really do.
Yeah. It's the first time. How many previews in a row have we done where the team we're previewing is coming off of a bye week? They're coming off the complete opposite of a bye week. So whether that plays into IU's hands or not, well, time will tell. But I agree with you.
It's either a bye week or maybe it's a trap game because they play Ohio State after us. It's either a trap game, which I don't think really exists in any sport, regardless of the level, or it's a bye week. So we do get the fortunate schedule, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, and you brought up a good point. I forgot they went 7-6. I forgot they just weren't very good last year. You just always assume that they
lost to Illinois.
Yeah, I do remember that. That was 9 overtimes. Is that what that was, or something crazy?
They lost to Michigan State, who Michigan State was, okay last year.
Michigan State lost to Purdue last year, so
this team's just not good, and they didn't get much better. We're gonna go over it, but when you're touting a Western Kentucky transfer as a key transfer, big yikes, guys. On their offensive line, they have a Yale transfer and a junior college transfer coming in to start on their offensive line. And it's an offensive line that was bad.
Yeah, it's Cornell and it's Lackawanna Community College. So let's give the props where they're due.
My bad, but you get what I'm saying. Those are projected starters, Seth. Those are predicted starters.
Ooh, you know what? While we're here, let's do this. We haven't done updated news or anything for a while. Let's talk depth chart. Unofficial depth chart comes out this week for IU. Came out this week. Anything blow your mind there?
Fake news. I don't know, man. Everything's been smoke and mirrors. It's awesome they did that. I was super surprised when you sent it yesterday. My jaw was on the table. But
I think
Good for Tim
everything's
Weaver
pretty
for
much
jumping in Khalil Benson.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was a little bit of a shock.
Where's this at? Where's Benson at?
Benson's
Oh, in the
on the
two
two
deep.
deep, but he's second string at right guard. You know, I guess, you know, we knew Camper was going to be there. We knew DJ Matthews. We knew Javon Swinton.
Yeah, that's what I was
Awesome
going
to
get
see
at.
Donovan
Yeah.
McCulley on the two deep.
Yep.
You know, that was nice, but running backs going Shivers, Henderson, and Lucas, kind of duh. I mean, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but you get what I'm saying. Like, nothing jumped out to me. It was like, oh, I mean, maybe the LEO podcast just nailed it because, you know, we're geniuses. But, you know, there was nothing on there that I was like, oh, man, that's a surprise.
So there's a lot of oars. So mainly on the offense. So you don't have a starting quarterback. You've got one solid starting wide receiver in Cam Camper. Everybody else, including DJ Matthews, is an or. DJ Matthews or Emory Simmons. You've got Javon Swinton or Donovan McCulley or Anderson Kobe. So the depth there, I don't know if you've watched any of the first video of highlights that came out from camp. Those like, I had to look up who number one was catching the football because I forgot about Donovan McCulley moving positions, but that dude, he looks like a freaking athlete out there catching the ball. So that'll be interesting to see. And Anderson Cody looks monstrous too. So I don't know, maybe or Kobe, go check out the IU Twitter account and watch that video. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm with
Noah
you.
Pierre, we nailed at starting at
Husky. Yep.
Like that, I think that was probably not the biggest question mark, but it was like, who is going to be at Husky? And again, just the LEO podcast, just being A1.
I think you're going to see a lot of people at Husky. I do think Deshaun McCullough plays a little Husky at some point. They've got him listed in the two deep, hanging into the two deep at Bowl with Miles Jackson and Lance Bryant. So
it is exactly what Seth and I feared, though. They went with all seniority instead of the younger, in our take, more talented guys on both lines. I mean, they just went senior laden as much as possible.
Well, you said it at the beginning, smoke and mirrors. I mean, this could be nothing. This could be literally, I mean, you know who's going to start. You know Cam Jones is going to start. You know Demarcus Elliott's going to start. You know, James Head's going to start. These players were shoo-ins. All the corners, we already knew all of that stuff, defensive backfield. But I think defensive tackle still have some movement. I think Bull still has some movement. I think middle linebacker could see some movement in there too. Obviously, the entire offense, really outside of tight end and running back. I'll be really interested to see how it goes as the camp goes on. And then two other quick things, and then we'll get into players to watch on Penn State. Picked up 2 offensive linemen this week. I don't know why you laughed at picking up Bubba Jeffries. Is that his name?
Yeah. Big Bubba.
But I like that. Anybody named Bubba that's going to play on my offensive line, sign him up. Name's Tyler, I think, really, but goes by Bubba, and that's all we need. Just give me a Bubba on the offensive line, and we'll be set for at least 4 years. So anything else you want to add on them? Then we'll jump into I'll let you start with your favorite player on Penn State.
Yeah, I don't have anything else news-wise. I mean, the videos are exciting. Football is back. It's you start to feel like football's back, whether it's NFL or college. And I still think, IU probably does it some of the best videos that they put out. Their marketing department is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, why don't
Can I talk Big Sean now?
Do it.
All right. Like I mentioned, this guy can't hit the broadside of a barn. He throws 60% clip. That's not even good in middle school. He has not even a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. It's closer to 2-to-1 than it is 3-to-1. So that's not good. Everyone touts his legs, but somehow he rushes for less than 300 yards a year. So he's not accurate. He turns the ball over He's not really a rushing threat. How does Penn State keep trotting this guy out? Like, I mean, I kind of kiss their butt, their behinds a little earlier about how good of a recruiting college this is, but yet they can't find a guy better than Sean freaking Clifford. This guy stinks. He stinks.
Well, they had him, right? But he's in Kentucky. What's his name?
Will Levis?
Will Levis.
Yeah. Super high on Kentucky, by the way. I've started doing my college research.
Really? Okay. Well, the only thing I've seen, all I remember with Will Levis is, I can't remember who punched the ball out, but it may have been McFadden knocking the ball. No, it was James Head, I think. Knocking the ball out with the one play that he played against IU in 2020, picking up a big fumble recovery there from him. That's really the only thing I remember about Will Levis. So good for him. Glad he's doing okay down there in Kentucky. So, but they've got some pretty good talent, I think, in the backfield, and at least one really good wide receiver on the outside. Kevon Lee, is that right? Kevon Lee. I mean, dude, you
talk about him every year.
Yeah. It's his second. Is this his second or third year?
Third year, I think.
He should be set up to be like Saquon. The dude is like built like him.
Yeah, but Michael, I mean, it was Noah Cain before him.
Yeah.
And then it was
thing.
Kevon Lee.
It's got to be the offensive line, right?
Now it's 5-star. Let me find his name in my notes. Hold on. I just freaking had him. Well, anyway, they just brought in another 5-star guy, Nick Singleton.
Yep.
So, I mean, they seem to keep bringing these guys in. They had Barkley, they had Miles Sanders, but they've sort of haven't had a guy in a while. It seems to be, oh, well, he didn't work out, so the next guy. So, it's kind of show me something before I anoint you to be Saquon or Miles Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to go back with that, because IU, I think we've, whether it's Stephen Carr or some of the guys before them, is the running back bad or is the offensive line just bad?
True. That's what I was going to say. I think it's an offensive line issue.
And that's why watch Noah Cain go be a stud at LSU.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll be fine down there. Wide receivers on the outside. I'll talk about Michael Tinsley real quick since you already talked about him. The Western Kentucky transfer last year, 87 catches, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. That's just product of the system. Really good numbers, but only made second team all conference USA. So I think people can kind of read the leaves there, as they say. Against IU last year, while he was at Western Kentucky, 4 catches, 68 yards. I think he had one of the longer receptions of 30 plus or something like that. So,
so scared of Michael Tinsley.
Nothing jumps out to me with him. He's not huge.
Honestly, he's downgrading quarterbacks.
Yeah, true. That's true. The other guy on the outside, Parker Washington, though, I think different story.
He's good.
True sophomore, yeah. Or true junior, sorry. 100 catches in his first 2 years. I think he had 60 plus last year behind. Did they have 2 really good wide receivers? Was it Dotson and somebody else? Or was it?
Well, they returned Keandre Lambert-Smith, which will be the second best hyphenated guy in the Big Ten. He's going to be really good too. We've talked about Maryland's wide receivers, and I think we all agree that Maryland maybe outside of Ohio State had the best wide receivers. But Penn State's are up there. Parker Washington's going to play in the NFL.
Yeah, I really like him.
And Lambert-Smith certainly has a chance as well.
Yeah. Parker Washington's got everything. I mean, outside of not being huge, I think he's 5'9" or 5'10". His body's in the right shape. I mean, he's really good at his routes and great ball catcher and everything. So he's got a great future.
And of course, they have the tight ends again.
Of course, the tight ends. But yeah, I've got 2 more on my list here. One of them's got to be pretty near and dear to your heart if you want to talk about his kid.
Joey Porter. Dude's an absolute insane man. He got in a fight with the Steelers as a player. He got in a fight with the Steelers as a coach. And he passed that on to his son, who will be a first team all Big Ten guy this year, probably day 2 draft pick. If he blows up, could potentially be first round. He's kind of right there with Taiwan, really. When you look at cornerback prospects in the Big Ten, and you know how much we love Taiwan, so you have to give it with Joey Porter Jr. Guy just makes plays when you need to make plays. His stats won't pop out at you for the same reason Taiwan stats don't pop out at you, because he just doesn't get thrown at very much.
I think they're a little bit different. I think they're both top playmakers for sure, but in different ways. I think Joey Porter Jr. is kind of I think he's got a lot of his dad's mentality, like what you're hinting at. I think he's nuts. Like, I just think he tries to be around the ball no matter where it's at. Whereas Taiwan Mullen is just like, I'm just going to take away your best receiver. You're just never going to throw the ball to him. If you do, I'll probably just knock it away or it'll be incomplete. So I don't think people hate throwing the ball at Joey Porter Jr. I just think that he is just, he's one of those guys that's like so crazy. You just avoid him. So as you said, 3rd team All-American or 3rd team All Big Ten last year. His first and I think his only interception came last year against IU off of like a tipped ball. Really good dive. If I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, really good diving catch. Had to be reviewed for like 35 minutes or whatever in a game that was over. So one more player I want to touch on real quick. And then if you want to add anything else, I think maybe their best player, probably overall, maybe outside of Parker Washington, is PJ Mustafer, whatever you want to say. 2nd team All Big Ten last year. First team AP All Big Ten. For his career as a defensive tackle, 107 tackles, 3 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, and 2 forced fumbles. The guy was a nightmare for IU last year. I want to say it was 6 tackles, 3 of which were TFLs. I mean, the guy was either disrupting running lanes or was just putting pressure on Tuttle or Penix pretty much the entire game, and then setting up a lot of the stuff that they get from the outside as well. So do you have anything else you want to add on PJ or anybody else you're keeping an eye on during this game?
He's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting. They lost a lot of their sack guys last year, and they didn't really have that many. They lose about half of their sacks from last year, and really they just kind of have freshman Zane Durant and Danny Dennis Sutton, who's both, pretty good recruits, but they are just freshmen. They lose their linebacker. They lose their 2 leading tacklers in Ellis Brooks and Brandon Smith. Now they do have Curtis Jacobs, who is, pretty solid. One of those Penn State guys that probably gets drafted in the 5th or 6th round. But again, they lose a lot of their defense. Here was an interesting stat when the defense allowed 20 points or fewer, Penn State was 7-1. In other games, so that means 21 or more points, which isn't a lot of points, they're 0-5. That just shows how much weight this defense has to carry. If you scored 21 points against Penn State, you beat them last year. That's an insane stat. Look at that, Michael. Look at me bringing stats to the pod.
Stats. Look at you. Yeah, that's pretty intense. One of the guys on the outside, Tony, is that his name? He was a pretty high draft pick, was he not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're losing quite a bit of production, as you said. The linebackers, I think both of the Russians. Zane Durant, by the way, that a guy IU was in for?
Heavily. We went after Zane, and he kind of blew up, and then he wasn't really an option.
Gotcha. Okay.
We had him in over the summer. We had him, I think, in again for a game, and then he became a little out of our reach.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Let's get to key matchups real quick. We spent a decent amount of time talking about those dudes. We'll just keep key matchups short if you want. I've just got really one because really before we've done any of this research, as I said, I didn't know a lot about this team coming in. But I did know based off what we've seen, because the guy's been there for 32 years, if you can pressure the big red dog, he is going to do big red dog things, and he's going to throw the ball to the other team. You can get him scrambled, get him some happy feet. Some of those interceptions he threw in 2020, they weren't even anywhere near a receiver, just because he had somebody in his face. So to do that, which is something that was not existent last year, would make a huge difference. What do you have as a key matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I have our secondary. Indiana needs to come back here, but I think it's overall turnovers. I mean, if James Head wants to get another strip sack, I'd be all for it. I mean, I think if IU wants to win, this is going to have to be a 3 turnover game. I don't care. It's done. Forced fumbles, interceptions, doesn't matter. Key matchups here is just, again, like you hit, getting pressure on Clifford. So whether he turns the ball over or IU, really matching up our secondary and locking up those PSU receivers. Turnovers are going to be so freaking important in this game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, again, I'm going to say the same thing I'm going to say pretty much the entire season, but more importantly, in one of these games where you've got pretty high caliber defense and to turn around and have somebody like PJ Washington, to have Washington.
Are you here for a McCullough breakout game in this game?
I'd love it, man. I'd love something like that. I mean, to shut down their tight ends, I think it's a good matchup. I mean, Noah Pierre,
maybe just him sitting in the passing lane. I mean, he did get interceptions in high school.
Oh yeah,
maybe Clifford just doesn't see him and he just snags it.
Yep. I'd love it, man. I really would.
Because this is late enough in the season when you're not a freshman anymore, right? Like you got enough Big Ten games under your belt that those freshmen can start making plays. And I think McCullough is a nightmare for Clifford because Clifford can't outrun him. He's tall enough to get in the passing lanes. I definitely think McCullough could be a nightmare for Clifford.
Yeah, totally agree. Seth, do you have anything else you want to add on key matchups before we move on? Or Brandon, do you have another one?
I'll fill in. The only thing I think is we've talked about the evolution of the college and the pro games. This is a game where the outside is going to dictate who wins this game. If the corners for IU are better than the corner from the receivers from Penn State, that's going to be a plus, and vice versa. And I really think, which means, of course, that it's going to be won by a running back. But that's why I think this is where the outside game is going to be the most important, most fascinating watch.
You're not beating them running up the middle just on talent and athleticism alone.
Yeah, totally agree. But I think the passing game is going to be huge in this game for IU, especially not having to deal with. I wish I could remember his name. Contavious Tony, whatever his name was.
Darius. No, that's the wide receiver.
Yeah, that's right. But Tony from Penn State, the defensive end, he gave us fits for 2 years straight. So even in the game that we won, I remember he was popping Penix.
Was that Mean Girls where his band was Tony?
No, but I think it's a real band. So we can just stick with that one. I don't know. Why are you making that face, Seth?
I know it's a Tim Meadows bit, and I can't remember what movie it's in.
Might be Pop Star.
That's doesn't matter. Isn't that like your favorite movie or something?
It is my
Did
favorite
you know
movie.
that?
We can move on.
Right.
We don't have to talk about Tony.
Well, let's move on. And before we get to everybody's favorite part, just a super quick word from our sponsor, Monine Track Club. MTC is Indiana's running brand built on a deep love for the sport. In the Hoosier State, they craft products, tell stories, create experiences that aim to celebrate, support, and add to Indiana's running culture. Check out the link in the show notes for more details on their club runs, which they are doing even in the oppressive heat and humidity every Tuesday night. And shop their gear, guys. They got shirts, they got the hoodies, they got the koozies, they got the whatever they call pennies. They got the whole thing for all the runners out there. As a thank you to our listeners, they are offering 10% off your order. Use promo code LEO10 at checkout. That's LEO10. Yeah, there we go. Let's move on to Brando's Randos. Brandon, what do you got, bud?
So I got a little vanilla question before I get into some of the other ones. But doing this, I can get worked up against a lot of teams, right? Penn State isn't one of them. Like, do either one of you guys dislike Penn State?
No. Well,
Like, does Purdue have anything against Penn State? I mean, to me, I kind of like them. Like I root for them when they play Michigan, when they play Michigan State, when they play Ohio State. Like I see myself more on Penn State than a lot of big teams or Big Ten teams.
But
no, there is no but there. No, I think I like Penn State.
no, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, I've been obviously the big issue with the Sandusky cloud hanging over everything, which I just think has to be brought up every time you give any kind of compliment to Penn State. But aside from that, yeah, they're a very interesting school. They're a good addition to the Big Ten. They're the ones who made it 11. Like, I don't know. I like it. I think they're competitive in most sports. So it's. I like the traditions they have. I think they have really unique.
I mean, their in-game environment's awesome. It's a true college town. Like, they have classic jerseys. I mean, there's just, I don't know. It's a lot to like. Which dovetails into my next question. And I've kind of asked this kind of question in every preview so far. But if you could lose Rutgers and Maryland, but it would also cost you Penn State, would you do that? Like, if you could trade, and get some other, West Coast schools, if you could get Oregon and you can get, Colorado and Utah, but you had to lose Penn State, Rutgers, and Maryland, would you do it?
Yeah. Yes. I'd throw in a couple picks too. To get those three schools, yes. I would get rid of those three. For Oregon, Utah, Colorado, all day.
I don't know if you can lose Penn State, man. Penn State is just so Big Ten.
Yeah. No, they're not.
They're 30 years deep, man.
Yeah, that's it. What a tradition. What? 30
they don't
years?
bring a lot in other sports, though. I mean, Seth was wrong there. They're not good in basketball. They're not good in baseball. They're not good in. I never hear them in the Olympic sports. You never hear them in swimming or cross country or anything.
Aren't they good at volleyball? And
they may be good at volleyball.
Yes.
But I don't know. At least I don't see what Seth was talking about. But yeah, I don't know if I could trade in the West Coast schools for Penn State.
I don't know West Coast, but what if that means? What if you lose? Let's say the ACC is breaking up. So let's say you have to switch, like, Rutgers for Boston College, Maryland for
North Carolina,
Virginia, and you get Virginia Tech instead of Penn State.
There's no way I do that. For the basketball side of things, zero chance.
For the basketball side, because you're afraid of them.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
And
it doesn't make any sense in football either. What do any of those schools bring you that Penn State does?
I mean, I feel like Virginia Tech and Penn State are pretty comparable. Like
they do have Enter Sandman, which is pretty freaking awesome. I'd love to go to a road game against Virginia Tech.
Oh yeah, Virginia Tech has kind of, since Beamer left, has hit kind of a rough spot, but they'll be back. They'll be back.
All right, let's stick with your SEC thing, even though you went ACC. Who's the SEC? Because again, everyone's talking about it's just going to be Big Ten and the SEC. Who's the SEC Penn State?
Oh, I've got two schools, but one of them's had a lot more success.
Auburn?
That's the first one I thought of. The other one was LSU, but LSU's won.
Yeah, I think LSU's above Penn State
lately, but not now. I feel like.
I think nationally LSU is above Penn State.
Yes.
So I think it's Auburn. Yeah. That's the first team I came up with.
Could it be Florida?
That was the one I was trying to fish around with, but they've won too much recently.
Yeah, and they were huge.
Like, and their downs are too low. Penn State doesn't have any of those like 4-8 seasons that I think Florida's had a couple. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Auburn's pretty safe.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with that. War Eagle. Last question. If you had to if you had to pick a coach tomorrow, would you rather pick Keegan-Michael Key or James Franklin?
Trick question. They're the same person.
There we go. I was hoping you'd say. Have you ever seen them in the same place?
Yes. Yes, we have.
I've not seen. Oh yeah, that's
every
right.
college game.
That's true.
in
True.
Beaver Stadium.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, the ESPN did a pretty good thing where Keegan-Michael Key actually came into. Did he do like a meeting, like a team meeting, instead of James Franklin walking in? It was Keegan-Michael Key, and it was pretty great. All right,
yeah, that's all I got.
What do you got, Seth?
All right, I just got a couple quick notes. Chop Robinson, DN transfer from Maryland. We talked about him a little bit last week on the pod. He was 35th ranked nationally 2 years ago, Under Armour All-American. He's going to be a rush end to consider for Penn State this year. And then the other one, every year it seems like James Franklin is flirting with some other school. Is he going to stay at Penn State long-term? And if not, where the hell does he go? At this point, it has to be like the biggest
Texas.
School in the world, right? Yeah.
So I think that's his only next. I think that's his next move.
But has he earned? Never.
I think. Well, now that you asked that, what I was going to say was, I think if he turned down, because he was gone, right, Brandon? He was out to USC.
Yep.
Like that was all done and dusted before the Lincoln Riley stuff, and then. I mean, if he turned down USC, I think he's sticking it out at Penn State.
And I love that. I want Harbaugh and Franklin in this conference forever because give me Tom Allen over those clowns.
Oh,
He'll never be able to recruit over them, but give me Tom Allen.
Okay. What
That's
else?
all I got.
Oh, that's it?
James Franklin's a clown.
There's only one clown. It's PJ Fleck. Okay.
Coaching and quarterbacks are always so dang questionable in the
I know.
Except Talia. Talia is the best.
Except for
he could be the greatest quarterback.
and Baz. Talia and Baz. All right, here comes the depressing part, I think. Seth, what do you got? Predictions? Way too early predictions. 3 months before the actual game, 90 plus days. What do you got?
I have Penn State coming in at 5-3, same as Brandon. I have IU coming in at 4-4, and I have Penn State just kind of throttling IU 27-10.
Oh, at home. That doesn't happen much at home. On a decent year, it doesn't happen much at home. All right. I went first last week, Brandon. I'll let you go first this week. Or do you know this is your second favorite school? I'll go ahead and go. I don't have a score written down, so I'm going to make it up right now. Closer than what Seth had going. Give me IU 24, Penn State 26, 24-26.
Yeah, no, I mean, I gave the stat. It's the stat I can't get out of my head.
3-4-3. 3-4-3.
It's
don't make him leave this podcast happy. Just change your prediction. Nobody's going to hold you to it. This isn't the real prediction. This is.
I held out one stat, and I think it's going to matter. Last year, Penn State dominated the first quarter. They outscored their opponents 80-33. I think if they come here with a Ohio State hangover and can't get it started, they won't get it started. But they're going to be playing for their season. They're going to be playing pissed off. They are going to come in and they are going to win 24-13. This defense is just too good. And we showed if they hold teams to 20 points and under, they win those games. I think they hold IU to under 20 points. And the Schneid continues. They lose 4 in a row to get to 5-4. Yeah, I think the offense is a huge issue. I think we are screaming that the offensive line couldn't move. I think we're screaming that their defensive line just stayed in the backfield the entire time and gave Baz absolutely no time. And we're questioning Walt Bell and the offensive line coach that shall not be named at this point in the season.
I can't believe we're shouting at Walt Bell already. I don't
score
agree.
13 points at home on senior. Is it senior night?
No,
maybe?
It's not senior night. Senior night's Purdue.
No, the last home game's never senior night. It's always like the second to last home game.
I
think this might be senior night.
Let me see what they've got down on IU's website. But I tend to disagree with you. I think last year's kind of tainted a lot of people's perspective. I mean, even when IU's had some really bad teams, I feel like they've hung pretty close to all of it, Penn State especially.
Penn State scored 24 points on us last year. I think both teams, I think the offense is pretty much the same offense they had last year. I think our defense, I know we lose Micah, but I think we got some additions as well. I think our defense is about the same. So I think we hold them to 24 points. I think, and we were all kind of around that same point total. It's going to be all about us scoring. If you go through my updates, I just don't love this offense, man. I really, really don't.
You don't know it. You don't know it yet. Nobody knows it.
You're right.
I think you'll be surprised.
I want to.
I really think Sean Shivers is like the real deal. And I also think, it just depends on quarterback play. We don't know. We've never really seen Baz play. I mean, this is going to sound super boring and super contradicting to what I talked about at the very beginning of the podcast. But if he is even remotely close to just being Aiden O'Connell, and it's a massive difference in the offense. So, which is, based off of his stats, it's pretty close to what he was at Missouri. Just based off completion percentage alone, we'll see. So, until then, we'll talk to you guys next week.
State next week on the road.
On the road. That's going to be
probably a top 4 team in the country.
Well, based on everything you read and see, you would think they've already won the national championship. So
Ryan Day, national championship or bust.
That's right. Whatever. So go ahead and bust, because that's what they do every year. So follow us on Twitter. It's at Podcast LEO. Be sure to download, follow, rate, review on all of our platforms, and we will talk to you guys next week when we talk about Ohio State. Love you guys. Elio.
Elio.
He said it.
Elio. Awesome day. Elio. Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate that. Elio.
All right, great. Elio.
Appreciate you guys. Elio. You're welcome, Dave. Have a great day. Elio.
Have a great day. Elio.
Appreciate you being here with us. Have an awesome day. And Elio.
Oh, thank you so much. Elio. Well, thanks so much, Elio.
Hey, thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate that. Elio. Appreciate you guys, man. Have an awesome day. Elio.
Awesome. Elio.
Elio.